esto?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for films that may not have taken home a particular Academy Award, but sparked outrage just for being nominated.
Oh, got a choice.
Number 10. Netflix joins the party. Roma. Distributed outside of Mexico by Netflix, Roma was the first film to majorly represent a streaming-oriented studio at the Academy Awards.
Leo, ¿le traerías un tecito de manzanilla al señor?
No, porque está conmigo. Ahorita vuelve. Hace unos minutos. Ahorita vuelve.
The issue wasn't whether Alfonso Cuarón's brilliant period drama deserved its 10 nominations. It was a question of whether it should qualify. Roma was released in only 350 cinemas worldwide, then on Netflix's streaming platform less than a month later. Though the film's success expanded screenings, many saw its limited debut as an intrusion on award competitions among theatrical formats.
Yo también quiero ir al cine.
No, solo Betty y yo.
O van todos o no va nadie.
¿Quieres pedir otro cine? Pero yo quiero ver Atrapados en el Espacio. ¿Sabes qué?
Ya dije.
Steven Spielberg led the backlash, praising Roma as an Emmy contender. The fact is that Netflix met a distribution criteria set long before streaming. Roma won 3 awards, inspiring streaming studios to release many more Oscar-caliber projects in select theaters.
Estamos solas. No importa lo que te digan. Siempre estamos solas.
Number 9. A non-fiction category? Chariots of the Gods. The much maligned trend of alien mythology documentaries goes back to an adaptation of Erich von Daniken's Chariots of the Gods.
Today, scientific investigators the world over are absorbed by a fascinating question. On how many of these stars could life exist?
The film irked academic communities with its highly speculative hypothesis that extraterrestrials set the trajectory of human technology and civilization. Its reliance on religion over empirical evidence was especially criticized.
Mount Horeb in the Sinai Range rises more than 6,500 feet above sea level. Here, Moses received the 10 Commandments. Here also, the Lord gave him the blueprints for the Ark of the Covenant.
Nonetheless, the film was nominated for the Oscar for Best Documentary Feature. Whether this was because of its commercial success following an aggressive marketing campaign, or because the Academy bought the premise, the nomination undermined the award's legitimacy.
3 rows of stylized figures flank an inscrutable creature. Another god come from the stars?
What's worse is that it gave the nominee legitimacy. Chariots of the Gods achieved cult status and inspired a popular documentary subgenre of questionable factual value.
We've accumulated a great deal of evidence to that effect around the world. We may still doubt the conclusion, but we dare not ignore the evidence. For as long as such ancient mysteries remain unexplained, our questions are valid ones.
Number 8. Taking the Bait. Extremely loud and incredibly close. The term Oscar bait is best applied to films whose quality suffers for unconvincing prestige.
Can I tell you my story?
Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close was considered an extreme case, with many calling it a cloying, tasteless portrayal of a neurodiverse child who lost his father on 9/11.
After he died, I wouldn't go into his room for a year because it was too hard and it always made me want to cry.
At least Max von Sydow garnered enough praise for there to be little complaint about his Best Supporting Actor nomination. But critics were baffled by the film's only other Oscar nod, Best Picture.
Why did you lie to me?
What are you talking about?
An A- cinema score suggests that the voters followed the audiences over the critics. Or maybe the heady subject matter and star power really cheated the system. Despite its defenders, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close is one of the most shocking Best Picture non-contenders to be called Oscar bait.
But if you don't tell me, how can I ever be right?
Well, another way of looking at it is, how can you ever be wrong?
Number 7. Robert Downey Jr., Tropic Thunder. The war movie spoof Tropic Thunder stars Robert Downey Jr. as an esteemed method actor, who in turn plays a black soldier in the Vietnam War.
Lazarus underwent a controversial pigmentation alteration.
This means Downey spent almost the entire movie in elaborate blackface. The performance was highly praised, as was its satire of method acting and Hollywood's troubling traditions with non-white roles. But supporting actor nominations, including at the Oscars, arguably validated the practice.
And why am I in this movie? Maybe I just knew I had to represent. Because they had one good part in for a black man, they gave it to Crocodile Dundee.
There was already controversy about the use of blackface to begin with. And to single out the actor may be to separate his performance from the irony that arguably made it work.
But there's that thing of like the risk factor for any creative idea, right?
Despite Tropic Thunder's gutsy, if poorly aged, political incorrectness, the Academy's response may have just been incorrect.
Being an actor is no different than being a rugby player, a construction worker, save for the fact that my tools are the mechanisms that trigger human emotion.
Number 6. Lana Turner, Peyton Place. The glamorous yet critically scrutinized Lana Turner didn't quite find redemption with Peyton Place.
Well, I don't want you to be like everybody in this town. I want you to rise above Peyton Place.
The suburban melodrama's 9 Oscar nominations already unsettled those who thought its subject matter was touchy for 1957, and those who thought it toned down Grace Metalius's more scandalous book.
I can't remember when I've had so much fun. I've almost forgotten all the silly and wonderful things there are for two people to do.
Turner's run for Best Actress was also criticized, as the more prominent Diane Varsi got a supporting actress nod alongside co-star Hope Lang.
You know I don't want you to go, but I'm going just the same. You stay here. You belong here, both of us together.
This prompted suspicions of so-called category fraud to raise the film's chances of winning an award. Whether it was just her name in the ensemble cast that stood out, Turner would never again be recognized by the Academy. Meanwhile, Peyton Place matched the contemporary record for most Oscar nominations with no wins.
How many times do I have to answer your questions?
But until we find out the truth.
Number 5. A questionable perspective, The Color Purple. Steven Spielberg's The Color Purple currently holds the record for most Oscar nominations with no wins. It's shocking now, given the classic's continued popularity and praise.
All my life I had to fight.
But the film has always been criticized for its sentimentality and sanitization of Alice Walker's novel. The bigger issue was over its depiction of black stereotypes, particularly with the hostile male characters.
Any more letters come?
Could be. Could be not. Who's to say?
This sparked backlash and debate within the black community, with the LA chapter of the NAACP submitting a letter of protest to the film's 11 nominations. Some believe this contributed to the 11 losses.
More than anything, God loves admiration.
You saying God is vain?
No, not vain. Just wanting to share a good thing.
As beloved as The Color Purple remains, backlash before and during the Oscars raised questions of how far Hollywood is willing to go with proper representation.
I'm poor, black, I may even be ugly, but dear God, I'm here. I'm here.
Number 4. Remember the Oscar bait, The Alamo. John Wayne took a huge gamble starting his filmmaking career by dramatizing the Battle of the Alamo.
How about that drink?
Honored Congressman Crockett.
Oh, please, Jim, don't call me that. I've been trying to live it down.
When it fell short critically and commercially, he made a cruder investment in the Oscars. The Alamo landed 7 nominations, including Best Picture, amid aggressive lobbying.
I have had just about enough insubordination.
The Academy was accused of folding to the bomb's star power and studio pressure. Public pressure mounted after Chill Wills placed an ad in The Hollywood Reporter, claiming that the cast and crew were praying for him to win Best Supporting Actor.
Man, that ain't no fair way to fight a war.
Wayne responded with a public statement condemning Wills' tacky self-promotion. The Alamo ultimately won Best Sound, and cult debates over the merits of Wayne's folly. Even now, though, few believe that its accolades were really merit-based.
You never pray, do you, Davy?
I never found the time.
Number 3. Andrea Riseborough, To Leslie. The handful who caught the low-profile indie drama To Leslie agreed that Andrea Riseborough's portrayal of a self-destructive single mother was one of the best performances to have no chance at the Oscars.
Well, you want to go somewhere or something? Want to go out?
I'm kind of beat. I came straight from work to get you.
Okay. Well, maybe tomorrow we could go.
Yeah.
Even they were shocked by her nomination for Best Actress. Director Michael Morris had led a celebrity social media promotion for Riseborough, in lieu of a formal campaign by Momentum Pictures. This prompted an internal review for potential improprieties behind the nomination.
I won the lottery. I was the one who won the lottery.
Though many were outraged by the dark horse, others criticized the Academy for suggesting that fellow artists' endorsement was less legitimate than studio investment.
Not so bad, right?
What? Dancing with you? You ain't done it long enough for me to form an opinion.
To Leslie enjoyed much-needed promotion for Riseborough's theoretically well-deserved nomination, while the Oscars' image as a meritocracy was further thrown into question.
Are you sure that this is where you want to be?
Number 2. All acting nominees. Various. The Oscars have come a long way, as Hollywood has embraced stories from all walks of life. And yet, at the 2015 ceremony, all 20 acting nominees were white.
How about Jeremy Renner? Who? Jeremy Renner. He was nominated. He was the Hurt Locker guy.
As great as these performances were, even star-studded Best Picture nominee Selma was snubbed in those categories.
No citizen of this country can call themselves blameless, for we all bear a responsibility for our fellow men.
Such baffling oversight of otherwise accoladed non-white artists inspired the social media hashtag #OscarsSoWhite. Despite the outcry, every acting nominee the following year was white.
They're only doing that in the hopes that I won't raise any objections.
Even the ceremony's host, Chris Rock, got in on the backlash. The Academy has since made clearly desperate strides to compensate, including new criteria for cast and crew diversity for award consideration. This also controversial policy has convinced few of their genuine respect for diverse art.
I hope this isn't discouraging for anybody, and for filmmakers in particular. You just keep moving along.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Sending a message with the wrong movie. Emilia Perez. Rave reviews within the industry delivered many accolades to a musical about a trans woman seeking redemption for her past in a Mexican cartel. But the tune changed after Emilia Perez's public release and 13 Oscar nominations. Critics were polarized by its melodrama and musical elements. Audiences were even more frustrated, especially LGBTQIA+ and Mexican viewers who found it insultingly insensitive. Writer-director Jacques Audiard apologized for the French production's inauthentic locations, casting, and cultural research. And Carla Sofia Gascon, initially celebrated as the first openly trans nominee for Best Actress, was pulled from the campaign after offensive comments resurfaced.
Podemos volver a verlo.
¿Para qué?
Así nomás para verlo.
Whatever these scandals say about the divide between industry and audience, Emilia Perez's nominations alone dishonor the worth of Oscar buzz.
No la dejaría hacer eso.
Cálmate.
What are some Oscar contenders that you were glad to see fall short? Give your nods in the comments.
Muy rubia. Rubia.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.